Well, Comic-Con just got over, and I'm telling you, I am so upset that I didn't go this year. I haven't been probably in the last 10 years, but I had to make a choice this year. It was either go to the Star Wars fan celebration, back in April, or go to Comic-Con, and I chose Star Wars. As much as I love Star Wars, I think Comic-Con really rocked this year. I watched every live stream, every update, every trailer that came out, and it just looked like it was just an incredible time. I'm definitely going next year, so I'm going to go next year. But I want to talk about Batman versus Superman, Batman v Superman, the trailer that came out. And as a rule, I never watch trailers. Being a member of the press, when I see all my movies, we don't see trailers. Other studios don't want competitors, the other studios, showing trailers before the movie they're showing us. So 99% of the time we don't see trailers. And if we do, they've been starting a trend where, like, if we see a Warner film, they're going to show Warner trailers in front of it and all that. But that's really rare that they do that. So, and not only that, Terminator Genesis and with all these other trailers, they give away so much of the movie, and I just don't want to see it. I used to be a trailer fanatic. I had to see every trailer, and during the Harry Potter years, I had to analyze every frame and all that. But I just don't watch trailers in general. But now it's just that people are asking me so much about, did you see the trailer for this? So it's almost like watching a movie itself. All right, I have to admit, I was one of those people that did not like Man of Steel. I really hated it, and I just hated Zack Snyder for doing that. But you know what? I've had a change of heart. I've watched it on HBO. I've watched it, at home. I have the Blu-ray behind me. I've watched it 4 or 5 times, and I'm starting to understand what he was trying to do. So seeing the trailer for Batman v Superman, I can just see where DC is going with this, because Marvel's just conquering everything. It's like, I'm just like pulling the rest of this hair out. Why isn't DC stepping up to the plate with all their incredible characters? So now this was a great launch at Comic-Con for DC, and watching the trailer for this, back when I was a little kid, I was into comic books, but I was into Harvey comics. I collected Casper and Richie Rich and Hot Stuff, but then when I hit puberty, I really went into Batman, Superman, and all the Marvel characters, just something about becoming, going through those changes. You just wanted something other than Harvey Comics, which I really love, don't get me wrong. But I fell out of comics, right in the middle of high school, back in the early 80s. But then in 1986, something happened that got me right back into comics to this day, and that was Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. An amazing 4-issue series of Batman in his later years coming out of retirement to fight the Joker. And I mean, it was something that I've never experienced before. I'll never forget reading those comic books. I mean, the Joker kills Cub Scouts at a carnival. He gasses them. He kills everyone at the David Letterman show. It's like, I still buy the leather-bound edition of all 4 issues, and I give it away as for Christmas presents to people who are interested in comics. I'm like, you have to read the best comic book ever written, graphic novel, excuse me, of Dark Knight Returns. So there was so much imagery in Frank Miller's 4-issue series that was in this trailer. I mean, from the Batman costume, which is probably the best one ever, with his eyes glowing, and then there was also him on the building with the lightning that he rode. I mean, there was so many tributes to Frank Miller, and not only that, but Superman. There's a thing about, I love how they explore is that Superman is considered a god. I mean, he can do anything he wants. And so we're always indoctrinated, with early Superman TV shows and comic books that he's here for truth, justice, and the American way. Well, yeah, that was, there was the Cold War and World War II, whatever, they had to make Superman an American. But now we can explore all these different sides of Superman, that he's an alien and that he can do anything he wants. So there's people who are out there going, wait a minute, we shouldn't trust this guy. He could, turn on a dime any second. And so they're exploring. In the trailer, there's people who hate Superman and there's people who support him. So they're asking all these really mature 21st century comic book questions about Superman. And then we have Ben Affleck, who's going to rock this character, folks. He is going to rock this character as Bruce Wayne, because come on, I love Ben Affleck. I just think he's going to do a great job, and he's got a great sense of humor. And not only that, I think he's going to bring something to Batman we've never seen before. I know Superman film or Batman film, or especially one of those two guys together, we have to have a great villain. And Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman still is the greatest Lex Luthor that ever lived. And I just don't know about him. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt of everything for this movie. Another complaint, I shouldn't say complaint, another concern is that it looks really bloated already. I mean, we got Wonder Woman in there, and we don't know how many other characters are going to come in there. But it's just that trailer was overwhelming. I only watched it twice. I don't want to saturate myself with all these images. I started looking at other YouTube, reviews, and people are going through it frame by frame, and it's like, you know what? Don't do that. I mean, just do an initial, you saw the trailer and that is it. I mean, just don't oversaturate yourself. We've got a whole year to wait for this movie. But overall, it looks pretty killer. So All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Head over to iTunes and grab my podcast. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Just click on that V down there. And if you're watching my podcast, subscribe on iTunes. I'm Jeffrey Gay Howard. I'll see you next time.